and shmoney come together. I ain't even white though. Sure as hell looks like it though. Goddamn white people. Damn, you right though. Guess I'll go listen to Neil Diamond. Fuck this shit. Shout outs to white people.
See, now we should probably start the show. See, everything you heard before was probably a warm-up. I got thousands of songs we could do. I could be here till 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. Don't give a fuck. Just like, you know, like crazy. So that real hip-hop is over.
People, what the fuck am I just threw up a West Side. What up, HipHop Heads? Thank you for all the support on the last video. Yeah, man, that actually means a lot of shit. Yeah, just keep supporting. I'll continue to get videos out for you guys. Yeah, so I'll try and make this intro real quick. Why the fuck am I throwing up guns? Yeah, Run the Jewels 2. So I usually will have the hard copy of the album, but I don't. Not today. And y'all can blame HMV in fucking Canada for that shit, because it came out the 24th. And I figured HMV would have it. Nope. I will buy it though as soon as it comes out. They said it was gonna restock in like November 11th, which is the same day Catalactica comes out. So I guess I'll just try and cop both of those. But yeah, let's just get into this no long bullshit intro. On the Jewels 2. So obviously Killer Mike LP, they already come out with one album, and I don't know if rap music really counts as it. Obviously LP did all the production on Killer Mike's rap music album, which was, that was probably Killer Mike's best album. Last album, Run the Jewels, love that album. It was different because I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't heard any LP or Killer Mike. I heard one Killer Mike song off an Immortal Technique feature. I was like, ooh, this dude sounds like old school Ice Cube, like a country twist to it. I hadn't heard any LP music at all. So when I heard this and I heard his production and his style, the contrast between the two is just, it's great. You guys already know how I do this shit. Yeah, I'm excited for this shit, man. It's gonna be good. Here we go. From now on, it won't just be me on HipHop Heads. Finally, I was looking for someone else to do the videos with me, and I finally found someone. It's a good friend of mine. I know some of you motherfuckers are like, yes, I hate this cunt. Someone else. So yeah, you guys got someone else. I think you guys like him. He's pretty new. I wouldn't say he's new. He's pretty new into the whole hip hop stuff. He's really into the West Coast stuff. Give you guys a different perspective. See us both have a conversation about the album. Hope you guys like the new edition of it. And yeah, enjoy. You hear that shit? That's Run the Jewels washing all you corny ass rappers up with this fucking album. This shit is that dope. But on some real shit though, this has the potential to be a classic. 10 years from now, this has the potential to be a classic. I really think so. This is that good. I know I'm probably just hyped up because I just heard this shit, but I really think this has the potential to be a classic. Y'all murdered this shit. First impression. There we go. Did you write down some things you wanted? What up, guys? It's 2 days later, and I'm ready to give my review on this. So, yeah, we've had like 2 days, right? 2 days to listen to this album, so definitely. I'm not gonna lie, I've been pretty behind as far as listening to the album. I usually listen to it a lot and stuff, but I just haven't had a lot of time. So I maybe listened to this like three, yeah, I say around 3 times full spin. So yeah, today's different though, and it's gonna be like this moving forward. As you guys saw in the intro, I'm bringing in one of my friends, and that is, I'll just let you introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Nick. I'm gonna be here from now on, and I'm really excited to do this. And yeah, let's get on to it. So we're doing Run the Jewels 2.
You like the art?
Yeah, did it myself.
Like ghetto ass shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have that much time either, you know, busy life. But first impressions, I really liked it. It's something I haven't heard before. Not an artist I'm used to, but yeah, I liked it. You know, at first glance, it seems really hype music. You know, I was tired. I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics, but it was good. Some good production. But then once you get into the lyrics and you search more, you find that it's actually some pretty deep music that they got going on here. Talking about, you know, like the police, some pretty current events, and I like that. I like hip hop being meaningful. You know, none of that, you know, just same word 80 times kind of shit. Not really into that. So
you hadn't heard Run the Jewels at all before this Killer Mike LP?
No,
right?
I've never come across to them, but definitely a fan now.
Yeah, so I feel the same. I've had more history with Run the Jewels and Killer Mike and LP, obviously. I heard Killer Mike's rap music and the Pledge 3, so I definitely know his style and stuff like that by now. But yeah, I feel the same. This shit, I love this album. First listen to it, and this was different than from the first one because on the first Run the Jewels, I hadn't heard that sound. I guess on rap music it was kind of it wasn't the same sort of production that was on Run the Jewels, the first one, because LP really had his hands on Run the Jewels, and that was very evident. But the first time I listened to the first Run the Jewels, I wasn't really feeling it. I'm more into like that boom bap shit, but I like to, so, but I like to keep an open mind. I always like to listen to new stuff. And so, but the first one, it took a while to grow on to me. But the second one, I love this album. Just the first listen to it, I heard the beginning. He was like, "I'm gonna bang this motherfucker out" or whatever. That shit was dope.
Brings memories.
Yeah, that shit was dope to grow on. And I think that's the things with if this is the first time listening to this, it takes a while to grow on to you because it's so many different sounds and it's so experimental, right? Like it's got like electro, it's got rock, it's got like it's still got its boom bap type influences into it, but it's just a mixture of like a clusterfuck of a bunch of sounds.
It's a lot to take in.
Right, but it's I think they do it perfectly. Yeah. And this album, especially this album, they refined everything they did on the first album. And that's what just makes this album so great. Because the first album, don't get me wrong, I love the first album. But this one, they really just holstered down on the idea and they stuck to their sound and they did it perfectly. It's gonna be hype as fuck, right? And that's this whole album. It's just hype, like shit you turn up to, and I love that. It's super aggressive as well. But like you said, they have meaning behind it, and that's what I love about Run the Jewels. Obviously, if you guys watch any of their interviews as well, they're really politically conscious. They know what's going on.
That's good to see.
You're right. That's and that's awesome because it doesn't completely. The whole album isn't just about that, right? But it's in there, and it's enough in there that actually makes you pay attention. Like, oh, okay. Like the first time you listen to it, you're listening for like the sound and flow and stuff like that. But then you actually go back and listen to the lyrics, and you're like, oh shit, that shit was dope, right? Like they're actually saying something, and that's awesome. Like the first couple songs, Jeopardy. I like that song.
Yeah, I like Jeopardy too.
Right, Jeopardy was definitely dope. It set the mood of the album. The second track, Oh My Darling, Don't Cry. Oh, that beat. Oh my, like super hype up beat.
Yeah,
that shit was dope as hell. I love that beat. And I was thinking before I heard the album, I was like, man, I really hope they did what Bad Meets Evil does. And you know, if you heard Bad Meets Evil, like I meant Royce the 5'9", they finish each other's lines and stuff like that. They're just going back and forth.
It corresponds. It's not just random like verses. It's
exactly right, and they finish each other's thoughts, and it sounds so dope. And so I really wanted them to do that on this album, like them going back and forth and stuff like that. And they did it on this track, and I love that. I love this song. This was one of my favorites on the Blockbuster Night.
Blockbusters was good. Yeah, I liked it.
Close Your Eyes. Run the jewels fast. Run the jewels fast. I love that.
That's hype. That gets you pumped.
Right?
Yeah,
And like that super aggressive, like just the sound. It's literally, it just surges in your face. The album. It's hard not to pay attention to it because you know there's albums that you just zone out. Like,
Right.
right. Like okay, usually same album. No, this shit's like in your face.
Like listen to me, or like.
Right? Like I'm here and I'm gonna fuck shit up,
Yeah.
and that's their mood when they rap and stuff like that. All My Life. I know you said.
I really like that one. It's a change. Like I said, I'm more into like a chill West Coast vibe, and that hook kind of gave it the perfect mix to me. You know, it's that like it's you know like the verses are like in your face still. You know, like their style, but then that hook kind of makes it a little more fresh, and it kind of prepares you for the next one. You know, it brings it down and then back up, and I
Right.
like that way.
Right.
Yeah.
But I definitely again the energy was still kept up the whole album. Even when it was stuff like All My Life where it did kind of go down a little bit on the vibe, it was still it wasn't too far down or whatever. Early. I liked Early.
To me, that's the best song in the whole album.
Yeah?
Personally.
Yeah, I loved Early. Definitely, it had Boots. Obviously, the feature was Boots, but he also did some of the production on there as well. I loved Early. Early was
a good hook.
Yeah. Got ghosts in the fucking room. And another thing about Early, that track. Obviously, if you like there was a beat switch up on it, like and then it goes super hard and aggressive. I did kind of wish that they would have rapped a little bit more on like the beginning instrumental or whatever, the beat.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty cool. But it was still a good song. I get the beat switch up. It was still dope because obviously when the hook comes in, it kind of just like brings you down. Like, oh, okay. And that was you wanted to say the thing about the cops or whatever.
Oh yeah. He mentions cops, right? Like him getting arrested, and to me personally, that felt like it was just like a shout out to like what's going on with like cops in the U.S.
Oh,
right?
and Ferguson stuff like that. Oh,
Yeah,
without a doubt, that was definitely what that was in.
And like these guys are, right. It's in your face. They talk about that. They don't care what people think, and I think that's good because it's something that we need to be aware of, and I really like that.
Right, and the shit still sounds dope, right?
Yeah.
Like people can talk about what they want, but if it doesn't sound good at the end of the day, you're not gonna listen to it.
Right.
They do it and it sounds good.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what they do so well. And these dudes are actually so intelligent. If you listen to any of their interviews, Killer Mike was on an interview on CNN, and he was talking about the police brutality, right?
Yeah.
Yo, this dude knows his shit.
Yeah, exactly. And it shows in their music. That's what I mean. Like the music is still hype. It's still like it's all dope. It's like let's go.
But they're still talking about stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that was good. All Due Respect, and that was the one with Travis Barker or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think he was the one doing the helping on the production or whatever.
Yeah,
Am I right?
I think this one is I'm pretty sure he's a drummer.
Yeah, he's the
from
drummer
From Blink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
so that's where the rock.
And that, yeah, right. They have that huge rock influence, and like again, another shout out to Dead End Hip Hop. They say that they were the response to punk rock, and that definitely it's dope. It's even if you're into that boom bap shit, it's still dope. The All Due Respect with the I don't know if it was like kind of like a hook, but that shit was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, that was definitely pretty cool.
Love Again. It starts with a beat that just right away you think odd feature. At least that's what I thought. Right? It's just like this weird production, but at the end of the day, I liked it, and
that was the track he was talking about, like his girl and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's still dope.
Yeah, like it's like he talks about so many things
in one song, because that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's not like the whole song has one concept around it, right? And I don't expect that from them, because certain artists they put out a song that you can tell from the title what it's going to be about, and they're going to talk about that throughout the whole song, obviously through like different perspectives.
Yeah.
And they don't really do that. I mean, I'm not going to say that their songs don't have any concepts, but it's not like the whole song is completely like I'm gonna push one thing in your head. It's the different stuff. I still like that song. Crown, I love Crown. Crown was one of my favorites on this album, and that beat, it was kind of like more like a mellow out, right? But the flow, especially the Killer Mike stuff, like da na 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 na, that shit was, I love that. Yeah, Crown was dope. Angel Dust, dude.
Just his music, it's really heavy, right? It's in your face, like we've said, and I don't know. For me, I think the 5 minutes was kind of too much for one song.
Yeah.
I think you kind of get tired by 3 minutes of it. You're kind of like, I don't know, because you need that break that like some of the other songs have, like with the hooks, and I didn't really feel it in this one. So
was that the song with the guitar on it, or was that Crown?
I think it's Crown.
Oh, okay, yeah, on Crown, the guitar, I love that shit. That was cool. I don't know. I kind of like Angel Dust. It wasn't that bad. It was like RTJ.
No, like it's a good song, but just.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a little bit too much for someone like it.
Especially for someone who hasn't heard it before, I think.
Right.
It might be too much.
Right. But this is definitely, for me, this is their best album. I can't say individually for LP because I haven't heard, Fantastic Damage or Cancer for Cure, which I need to do. And I've heard a bit of Killer Mike, but this has to be their best album, solo or together. This is perfect. This was a match made in heaven. And that's why so many people on the first album, they loved it, because it just, the contrast in styles it works, right? Because LP's voice is way different than Killer Mike's. Killer Mike's got that like aggressive country type style, and then LP, he's got that like more New York sound, but it works, and it works perfectly. And this album, everything just came together. The production, content, just everything came together, and they brought it perfectly in this album. And that's why I still feel the same that I did in the first impressions, man. If anything, I like it more. I really do think this has the potential to be a classic album. 10 years from now. And it's not because it's the best. To me, it's great, right? But I don't think it's just because it's the best. But if you think back at classic albums, what made it the best is they're different. No one's heard it before, right? Just think of anything. Biggie's Ready to Die. Comes out, no one's ever heard that before. Hard style, aggressive. Rakim, when he comes out in the late 80s, early 90s, that dude changed the game after that. Everyone was trying to emulate Rakim, the flow, the style, and stuff like that. And that's what makes classic albums. You think back, that's definitive. It's so different from everything else.
It's different, Everyone's trying to do the same, and this is just complete side off, but it's good. It works.
Right, like they said fuck what everyone else is doing, right? And even Killer Mike's old stuff, it was southern sound if you hear it. But they just took their own lane. And they do it perfectly. Like they have a lane, and they're the kings of it. And that's why I think this is gonna be a classic album. We're gonna look back at Run the Jewels 2 10 years from now. And although obviously it would make sense for me to say that the first Run the Jewels would be a classic album because no one's ever heard that before or whatever, but I think this one, they did it. It was Run the Jewels, the first one, except better.
It was perfected.
Right, and so that's why I think we're gonna look back and we're gonna say, man, these dudes sounded way different than everyone else, like when they were out, but they did it so dope.
Yeah, because they bring a lot of different genres together.
Right,
and they make it work, because that doesn't really work usually.
Right.
From what I've
yeah, and I saw this on Twitter, and he said this album, Run the Jewels, is extremely experimental in all ways, and it's so risky, but they pull it off, right? Like this is on the brink of being really bad, like really corny.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is on the brink of being really corny. Not saying that like if they do one thing it's really whack, but if they change something or if they add something, I think it's too much, right? But they do it. It's just this perfect balance, and that's what makes this so great. If I have to give it a rating, I know I'm gonna get some heat for this, and because people are immediately gonna compare it to like the greats, like All Eyes on Me, stuff like that. But I'm just projecting this in the future, and I know this is kind of stupid to do, but I really think that this is a 10 for me. It's so dope. I don't find anything wrong with these songs. Nothing, and I don't find anything wrong with the album. I know, and I hate to sound like I'm just riding their pipe, because I don't want to do that. I want to be at least somehow critical, right? But I can't find anything, because everything they did on the album was done well. Usually on albums I have one or two criticisms. No, this and it's not like they're new to the rap game either. They've been out here for a while. They don't have any really excuses as far as making mistakes on the album. But they just do it so well. This album's dope. This could be contender for album of the year.
No, it is, but I agree with him. I think the only negative they have is it's like it's real hip hop, you know, and maybe for someone who hasn't heard it as much, might be a little too much. But that's literally the only criticism, is that it might be a little over the top for some people that are coming into it.
Right.
But I think if you know your hip hop, I think you can appreciate it.
Right.
And it's you're really gonna like it.
As far as so far, this is album of the year contender. Yeah, and I'm really happy that they're getting a lot of the media coverage and attention that they deserve, because these dudes have been putting out work for the past really 10 years, and they've been under the radar. And so I'm happy that they came together, brought both of their audiences, and they're really getting the attention that they deserve. And I really hope that they do well. Can't wait to hear the next one, man.
Yeah, good. Same thing. Great album, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, buy it. Don't
buy it, yes.
Yeah, don't download the shit. I know I haven't got it yet, but that's just because I don't have the chance to. But as soon as it comes out, I'm buying it. Buy it, support your artists that you like. They're gonna be dope. Expect a classic review. We're gonna be coming out with a classic review. So definitely check out our Twitter, check out our Instagram. We're gonna be showing you guys different stuff. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Peace. See you guys later. And what?
Fucked up.
Fucking idiot!
Let's stick with the first one, because we're gonna be here.
No. If you keep it and just cut it out, like cut it into the part where I zoom out, because I didn't know when you were coming in, so I didn't.
Phone, man.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
Owen,
You're a
be
little
an
bitch,
active
pussy, bro.
cameraman. Be active in this.